So I've found what I think is the best personal sized backpack for travel, for carry-ons, and I just wanted to share it in case there's anybody else out there who either do a lot of flying or you fly with a lot of stuff, or in my case, both. You want to maximize all the space that they give you. So when it comes to standard carry-on, that's pretty easy because there's already a universal, dimensions that it has to conform to. So whatever you buy from manufacturers, if it says it'll fit, you're guaranteed it'll fit. It's not so clear cut with personal items because the rule of thumb for personal items is it has to fit under the under seat below you. But different planes, different legs on different airlines, they're all going to be different sizes, and the the under seats are going to be smaller accordingly. There are some airlines that have relatively uniform sizes, and so for example I'll link to a page that kind of collects the different ones, so if you happen to only fly that specific airline, you'll know exactly what size to get. However, if you fly a lot of airlines and you want something that you kind of want to be confident will fit under any plane, your max dimensions are going to be about 18 inches tall by 13 inches wide by about 8 or 9 inches deep. And that should fit most airlines. And that is what this is. This is the Amazon Basics DSLR backpack. And don't let the DSLR part, scare you off if you're not a photographer, because it is an incredibly versatile and universal bag. Now, my favorite thing about it, and what puts it at the top of the list in and of itself, is simply the fact that it is 18 inches tall by 13 inches wide by 8 inches deep. So it is the largest bag that I've been able to find that would still fit under a standard plane underseat. I have flown in prop planes on this, and it is fit fine. My one word of advice would be that to avoid window seats unless you're certain of how big they are, because those tend to be smaller than the aisle under seats. But I have yet to find an aisle seat this would not fit below. And that is honestly, that right there is the number one thing. I have yet to find any other bag of these kind of dimensions. But what's cool about it doesn't stop there. So the second fantastic feature is the fact that it's really just one big it's just one big pocket. This is where the tripod normally goes, and then otherwise, you can put whatever. I happen to have camera gear in here, but that's just because I happen to have camera gear. You could just as easily portion it out to have socks and underwear and t-shirts and toiletries and medicine and books and whatever you want to have. The one packing tip I would give is to put the heavier items at the bottom so that it puts the center of gravity at the bottom, and also so that it supports the higher items. But other than that, this is essentially a big pocket for you to play with. And the fact that you get these cool little Velcro dividers is something that even most luggage doesn't give you. So that's now, okay, the one downside to having a big pocket, as some of you may well know, is the fact that it's not very accommodating for small items. So cables and chargers and thumb drives and batteries and all that stuff, it's just going to bounce around. And so there are a few ways that I kind of make, balance that out. The first is, for example, I have this little fabric box that I kind of put all my little, I put a bunch of cables in. The other thing is the fact that it also has a pretty well portioned out little front panel. So it doesn't take up too much space, but it gives you pockets, it gives you pen holders, it gives you a slot for tablets, e-readers, whatever you want. If you happen to have a smaller laptop, you could probably fit the whole laptop in there right there, and then free up the rear laptop pocket for more. And that is actually what I was going to get to next when it comes to maximizing the space in this. So it has a really big laptop pocket because it expects you to have a really big laptop. The thing is, most of us have pretty small laptops nowadays. It's getting cheaper and smaller, and so you wind up with a lot of wasted space. enter the strap book. I have 2 of these in here. One for my camera gear, one for my general tech, and they fit perfectly in the thing. So much so that they even have a little bit of extra room, so I've got like a second tripod. You know, let's stretch you out there. So I've got, these things are amazing, by the way. I should do a video on them. So I've got one over there, and then it's still got room for others. Now, for those of you wondering what the hell a strap book is, I'll get into that in a separate video. But what I will point out is that, so this is my tech strap book, and in it I've got phone charger, general charger, USB hub, 1, 2, 3, oh yeah, the other cable's plugged into the thing right now. 4 cables, a hub, a card reader, a universal adapter, another card reader. I mean, I got all my crap in here. And then in the camera one, I have circular polarizer, 6 ND filters stacked on top of each other, 2 batteries, 3 memory cards, cable release, card reader, lens pen. I've got a lot of crap in here. That's the bottom line. And normally this would all just be bouncing around. But because, now bear in mind, you don't have to use one of these. They have those like those big plastic white subdivided plastic boxes, you know what I'm talking about, for all little bits and bobs, and you can just kind of thing. That would fit perfectly in here. So you could put one of those in here for all of your makeup or jewelry or chargers or whatever the hell you want. I just happen to prefer, you know, strap books. But, oh yeah, I've even got a towel down there. This thing is just, it's pure space. That's all it is. It's as close to a bag of holding as we're going to get, and it's $40. Oh, right, laptop. There are a few things to note. The first is that if you happen to have it weighed down, so mine comes in at about 25 pounds because of all my crap. If the zippers are up here and you swing it on your back too quickly, sometimes they'll separate. I've had them come down this far. That can be dangerous. So the easy thing to do is just make sure that the zippers are at the bottom, and then they're not going to separate. But another thing you can do, and this is what I prefer, so I put key rings on each of the zippers. The zippers, unfortunately, don't have like the security thing where you can put a lock through, so I just put key rings on them, and then I put these carabiners. So I've got one locking one, and I've got one like little multi-tool one. And then all I do, you know, if I want to make sure that nobody can open up my pack, you know, while it's on my back and grab something out of it, is I just put the carabiners through there. There you go. It also has tripod straps, which might not be of interest to most people. However, tripod straps also make very handy jacket straps. When the sun comes out and you don't want to have to tie your jacket around your shoulders because you're not a preppy in an 80s movie. So you can just tie it to the side of your backpack and then just bounce around with that, you know, nice and simple. So that's the thing, is that it's called an SLR, a DSLR backpack, but it's really up to you how you want to use it. One other thing to note is that, and you can kind of, I don't know if you can make it out. Yeah, you can kind of make it out. So this comes with belt straps for added, you know, for added weight distribution and stuff like that. I don't really use them on this, especially since I tend to wear this forwards in my backpack on my back. So I just cut them off. Right there, you can guys see I just took a little razor and I just kind of cut the thread. So it's not hard to remove if you don't like them, but do know that it is going to come with them. Other than that, I mean, you know, it is as simple and as basic as it gets, which again is a thing that I love. Because those, you know, if I spend $400 on a backpack and it's got like a fancy label or it looks fancy, people are going to, you know, be more likely to pick it up. This is about as, I mean, Amazon Basics is really basic. Oh yeah, I think it had a label here, but I just cut the stitching and removed it. But yeah, this is about as nondescript and basic as you can get, yet it'll still fit under almost any plain seat that I can think of. And if you've got a lot of crap to bring around, or if you're going on a long trip, like right now, my 1 year, 2 year, multi-year sojourn is just these two backpacks. I've got my hand carry sized Osprey, and I've got my personal sized Amazon Basics, and this is my whole life. So there you have it. If you know of a better backpack, please let me know, because I'm always looking to upgrade. But I'll tell you, I don't know if there's one out there, especially for $40. All right, catch you later.